Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to introduce you Sarah Aftar, who is the creator of beautiful method of yoga of dance, which is called Shakti Dance. And we will have now a short conversation about Shakti Dance. So my first question to you, Sarah, is tell us, please, what is Shakti Dance?
Hello, Piara Ravi. Lovely to be here with you, and thank you for joining me. So, what is Shakti dance? As you said, it is the yoga of dance, and it is a method, a system that has come into being throughout my life. It is a continuous evolution, but it first took form around 2001, and it was then systemized to be able to also share in the form of a teacher training back around 2005. And essentially, it brings together breath and mindfulness as we exercise through flowing yogic movements in order to really harmonize our mind and body and spirit so that we can bring the fullness of our true being into the foreground. But it has many side effects, as it were, that are wonderful benefits along the way. So while it is a deeply spiritual practice that has the same aim as yoga, which is to realize our true and authentic self, to express our original being, it also has many positive benefits like keeping us very flexible and healthy and balancing our internal organs, helping us to release stress, helping us to stay young, and giving us also a beautiful access to create an inner space that's like a sanctuary that embraces us and supports us and nurtures us throughout our lives.
That sounds beautiful. So, Shakti dance has 8 different phases. How did you create this interesting and original method? And what influences did you have?
Yes, so this method came together organically. It wasn't something that I particularly decided to do, but it kind of arose. And I would say that my first influence was through my youth and early childhood, when I would always just use dance as a form of expression to transform my feelings and to express my aspirations in life. And I think that's the same for many people. But in my case, that never took a back seat to my life. It became the front seat of what I did. And so when I first met Kundalini Yoga, when I was about 19 years old, that began to merge into this natural expression of dance. And I'd also been a gymnast at school, so there was a lot of movement background that was already there. And when I began to practice Kundalini Yoga, which I found rather angular, I was looking to find a more smooth, self sustaining way to move through the exercises because, of course, they can be quite challenging. And I found that by rounding the edges of the movements to create a natural flowing wave or spiral, that this uh, enabled the flow to become more self sustaining. So, my experience as a spontaneous dancer, as a gymnast, as a Kundalini yogi played a big influence in how Shakti dance began to unfold. And then there was also my experience in many different kinds of dance styles that I was learning throughout my 20s and 30s. And there was also strong influence of meditative healing from a practice called Satnam Rasayan, and also Vipassana Theravada, Vipassana meditation that I also practiced for over 15 years. And then Sufism has played a great big part as well. So there is a strong philosophical and yogic background to the practice of Shakti dance, and especially the healing aspect has enabled Shakti dance to develop this ability to go deeply into our physical and mental blocks to help to release them while harmonizing the practice with the rhythmic, musical aspect of the practice, which is more of also an artistic expression and experience. So we see that the art and the science of rhythm and wave and frequency combines also with the philosophy to create a holistic practice. Yeah, you were also asking about the 8 phases, and the 8 phases seemed also a very appropriate development because 8 is really the infinite number of the cycle. And the practice is very much about moving through cycles of birth, life, death, and rebirth. And in that way, also growing and flowing and leaving behind what no longer serves us in order to evolve into greater stages of harmony. So the 8 phases are basically a tune in, followed by a flowing asana session. And that helps to like really open the energy in the body. It helps to release the blocks through the stretching, the gentle stretching and release. And then that moves into the 3rd phase, which is the standing exercises. And that helps to charge the body. And then with the free dance, then that energy is released. And by this time, we're very much attuned to our inner being and enable that to give its expression through the free dance and to lead the way. And then that culminates in a relaxation where we integrate the different energies of the experienced phases previously. And then as we rise from the relaxation, we move into the 6th phase, which is movement meditation or a celestial communication practice to mantra, which helps to give a kind of alignment to our energetic field and to attune us to an infinite vibration so we can really raise the level of our consciousness and be attuned for the energy of spirit to be embodied within us. And this also gives us a kind of stable container of alignment as we then move towards the end of the practice into the still meditation. And in the still meditation, we can really bathe in the emerging presence of the Shiva aspect of our consciousness, or that still being that is the observer that looks through and experiences its own magnetic charge as a presence that is very cozy and harmonizing and healing. And after this, we move into the closing mantra, which concludes the phase, and it helps to rebalance our energies and prepare us to then move out into our daily life, perhaps with a little prayer at the end. Um, so those are the 8 phases.
So, would you like to add anything else what Shakti dance can bring to the people, and what it did bring to you through the years?
Essentially, it is the harmonious alignment that Shakti dance brings. So we are moving with these flowing cyclic spiral movements, and they are done in a repetitive way. So that becomes a very meditative experience, like what in yoga is called japa. And mostly we move to some kind of mantra. So we are aligning with a mantric repetition, our movement, often expressing the mantric repetition with our movement. And we're also combining that with our breath and with music, with rhythm. So we're combining many different levels of body, mind, breath, rhythm, sound, all together and creating a coherence. And this creation of coherence is uh, a way of attuning ourselves so that our spirit can shine through a more transparent overlay of mind and body, so we can really express ourselves and be led by our inner guidance, and also be supported and nurtured and protected by that ability to really connect with our deeper self. And really, the experience of life is about being able to keep and maintain that connection so it can guide us and creatively express our gifts that we have to share with the world. So for me, it has brought about great sustenance, also in moments of great challenge or emotional difficulties. It has sustained me. And it has also helped me to release a lot of blockages and dis-ease within my body, um, uh, so that I could process the difficult experiences or traumatic experiences in my life, and to somatically release that pain. And also at the same time, it has given me a great um, access to my creative self, enabling me to be creative in many different ways, through dance, through song, through writing, through creating a system, through artwork, through just communing with nature, and also in relationships. So it's an all round supportive practice, as it just brings our original self into the foreground. So those have been some of the benefits that I've experienced. Most of all, now I feel at the age of 57 how it has really sustained me uh, to remain youthful, not only like, with the face um, and the skin, but also, in my ability to move freely and be at home and comfortable in my body still at this age.
Thank you. I love your answers, and we can see you look so shining and fluid and lasting, beautiful. It's yes, it's very inspiring.
Thank you. Now, Piara, I'd love to also switch our interview roles, because you yourself are a Shakti dance teacher, and you were the one who first brought Shakti dance to Poland with the teacher training that you organized a couple of years ago in Poland. And I think it was 3 years ago, maybe. And since then, you have been also teaching Shakti dance workshops and classes. And so I would be interested, and I think anybody who's listening in would also love to know a little bit about your path through Shakti dance. And we can start with how you first met Shakti dance.
It was at European Yoga Festival, the largest Kundalini Yoga festival in Europe. I think that was 2019 or 2020. Mm, I participated there in my first Shakti dance workshop, and that was guided by you and another beautiful, inspiring teacher, Abiola Akimbini. And that was my first experience. Very, very beautiful.
And what impact did that have on you, such that you were inspired to then consider wanting to organize a teacher training?
Mm, As I said, it was very beautiful experience, because that was what I was missing on the yoga path, which I had been following the several years for several years. Mm, it had such a greater organicity, connection to the nature and body, connection to music, with the music, with sacred feminine energy. I felt as I woke up and started to flow with the flow of something divine. It had a delicate sweetness and at the same time the power of the fire. I was very sensitive to the reception at that time because I was after 3 days of white tantric yoga practice. So that was very cleansing practice. I could feel deeply that it's for me like my path, and it will be the next stage of my journey. And when the dream of teacher training was born in me, I felt it's also very complement to the practice of Kundalini Yoga, to its strict discipline, and to that way it is so angular, because Shakti dance is much more fluid and subtle.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that's beautiful. That reminds me also how the Shakti dance has the ability to activate this flow of Shakti prana. And oh, yeah, that was another influence in my life that when I was 20, I had a Kundalini emergence. And that had one of the effects was that this Shakti energy really unfolded through me and was guiding me to move in very organic way. And through having experienced that sweet flowing energy, it also then helped me to recognize certain patterns of movement and to go deeper into understanding their flow. And so, actually, the expression of the Shakti dance movements, having come from very innate movements, uh, have kind of become a template that if you practice those movements, it will in turn take you back to activate your Shakti and open the flow. Yeah, that's an important point that you've reminded me of. So yeah, and I aim to share that in the teacher trainings, and I think many people do get that opening flow of Shakti in a sweet and gentle way, not in like a kind of way. Um, and I've heard from many people that it's very, very life changing. So perhaps Piara Ravi, you could tell us a bit about your experience of the teacher training, which I know was a little bit more challenging because you were also organizing it at the same time.
Yes. this dream of the training was so powerful in me that even the COVID time didn't stop me to organize it. So that was really a blessing. It happened in Poland. My personal practice really changed after the training. It became more flowing and organic, and every morning I simply listen to my body and I select some movements according to its needs. And very often these are flowing asanas because they beautifully awaken the body, open the body, and energize me for the whole day. And also my internal development has become more fluid and subtle. I can hear myself better, and my creative expression has expanded greatly. I have new ideas and visions, and the organization was also a bit challenging because I got pregnant during during the training. So the second half of the training, I was pregnant, and this experience was beautiful to combine the teacher training with this blissful state as pregnancy, because it awakes so much of this feminine sacred energy.
Yeah, and that's happened on several occasions that people have become pregnant during the training because it somehow also activates the vital forces. So, Chiara, tell me a bit about, or tell us a bit about how you experienced the unfolding of the teacher training, in its content and the process that you went through and the other people in the training also went through.
It was a bit challenging because there were some difficult themes going out of all of us. It was cleansing, but at the same time, I could see how we all change, how our movements become more fluid and graceful, and we also become more subtle towards our insights. We got new insights, and we can listen to this inner voice better, each of us. So I could see how girls and two men could really unfold their creativity, their potential, and they had new ideas for their life, for their work after the training, which came out of this potential, and for myself the same.
Mm. So, do you feel that um, within the framework of the teacher training, that this process of release of the um, old stagnant aspects of your life that were leaving you and also giving you challenges at that point in time as you were experiencing these releases, do you feel that the framework of the training was also supporting you to move through that and beyond that into the new phase of creativity?
Yes, definitely. I felt the support. I felt it in the lectures which I've heard that could help me to understand this, what is happening. I could feel it in the practices we did, because the celestial communication meditations, they really help to go back to the harmony in our auric field and inside in our mind, and the support was in you and in other teachers. We could always talk to you and ask the questions, what is happening. And also we created a big family with all of the participants.
Mm. So you mentioned before also that Shakti dance is very much in resonance with the sacred feminine, but we did also have two men on our course. How did you see that um, combination of being essentially, very feminine in the expression of the practice, but also welcoming men, if interested, to come in and be brave enough to also go through the experience, because your partner was also one of the two men that were on our course.
Yes. So I talked to him a lot, and I know he felt it awakes his body and his energy, unblocks the flow of the energy, and it's really working for all of the time of the training. And afterwards, when he did the practices of Shakti dance, he felt much more energized and happier in his life, because of this practice. Also, he could see that it works with his mind on another levels. So absolutely, it is also for men. And I think feminine energy, uh, it's in everything. It's everywhere. It's even in men, and they also needs to awaken this part of themselves and find harmony and look through different perspectives on life.
We see that the energy of the divine feminine is, of course, very much in resonance with people who experience themselves as essentially females, but the feminine energy exists in all beings and all creatures. We maybe call it Shakti or Prana Shakti. And so the men who are ready also to meet their inner feminine energy can be very much enhanced in their physical and mental experience. So I'd love to ask you your experience since you graduated as a teacher, how you have experienced sharing this practice with the groups that have gathered around you.
After the teacher's training, um, during my workshops, I can feel more the group, the whole group of the participants, and I can sense the space of the group. So it helps me to um, find good practice for that particular day. And I improvise more, relying on my intuition, which I have better connection now too. And I am gentler. And I do not impose such pressure, um, as I did in the past with some very powerful kriyas, because some of the Kundalini Yoga kriyas, they can make people finishing quite physically and mentally damaged. So now Shakti dance helped me to go through like different process during the workshops, and I'm trying to help people finishing the practice with smile, and that we are relaxed and calm and connected to their hearts in the end.
Mm. And what kind of feedback have you had in your experience of teaching?
It's always very nice, the feedback. I'm happy after each workshop. Some people come to me, mostly that are women. Very rare it's a man. Mm, but I can understand this, because women nowadays, we need these feminine practices. We need very much to connect with this energy within us. And I do some women's circle, and it's a beautiful combination to teach Shakti dance at women's circle. I just love it, and there is a great feedback. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. And this, you're mentioning about it being softer, but yet it's also a very subtle power that is unfolding within the practitioner. As we practice, uh, it very kind of gently penetrates into the depth of who we are, releasing the old exterior. So even though it's gentle, it's still very powerful in a subtle and sweet way. And that's what
Yes.
helps to to bring us to the transformation that enables our being to really shine through.
Yes, definitely it is, yes.
Yeah, I think that's one of the hallmarks of Shakti dance, is that at the end there is that sense of, ah, here I am. I can feel me and experience the beauty and the love and the grace and the bliss, and also that clarity of who I am.
Mm.
So I'd like to propose that we round off this conversation that we've had with both of us sharing something from Shakti dance, an exercise or a practice that could give people a taste of what Shakti dance is. So I have thought to share a movement meditation to a mantra, which is Ong Kar Nirankar, Nirankar Ong. And it really exemplifies the cyclic aspect of the practice. And it means coming from the creative source, Ong, into the physical world and creation, Kar. And then Nirankar is then going back to the unnameable source, and then from the unnameable source, Nirankar, going back into the manifest world. So it's a cycle that goes inwards and outwards. So I'll just sit on my mat to show you how that works. So to begin, we come sitting with the spine aligned, and we're going to bring the navel and the abdominals inwards so that we shift back on the sit bones and the sacrum. With the hands on the knees, we let the head drop forwards and feel the weight of the head being pulled down towards gravity, creating a stretch along the back of the neck and the shoulders. And we're going to be lifting up and shifting back. So lifting the spine and the chest up as we inhale and exhaling back. And then from here, we're going to imagine that this is the end and the beginning of a cycle. And so it's like we're dwelling in the source of creation. And then we bring our hands to our chest. And like a fountain, we radiate outwards. And that's Om, the creative energy. And Kar, as the hands arrive on the knees with the spine straight. And then we have the return as we gather up all of creation, squeeze it together in our hands, the knuckles rotating around each other, the thumbs coming together, and bringing the hands down to the feet and flipping open again. And then we repeat that. Nirankar, and then we start again with Ong. But actually the mantra is Ong Kar Nirankar, Nirankar Ong. And that's the end of the cycle. So we then start again with Ong Kar Nirankar, Nirankar Ong. We have this forward cycle that repeats twice, and then we have this backward cycle that repeats twice. So it's a sense of expanding from our source into the exterior world, and then drawing everything from our exterior world back into the source to reset again. Okay, so let's do that with music and go into this deeply cyclic meditation. Inhale deeply and exhale and release, pulling back. And then we begin. Inhale, suspend the breath, and the hands from Gyan Mudra come over the heart center. And we feel the pulse of our heart under our hands. And exhale. Inhale deeply, suspend the breath again. Feel that pulsation. Feel it pulsing also into the space around your body. And feel the echo also of the mantra and the music through that space. Exhale. And then inhale one last time. Suspend the breath. Press a little with the hands against your sternum. And feel how the pulse of your heart and the echo of the music and the mantra that's vibrating around your body and through your cells, how that's merging together. And then release, exhaling. Bring the hands to the knees in Gyan Mudra, index and thumb fingers together. And breathe long and deep. And feel how shining through the center of this cycle, there is your original being shining through your heart center, radiating through every cell of your body, through your mind, and through your auric field into your subtle bodies. Breathing, listening to your breath as it moves through this field of presence. And then inhale and exhale. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that and could feel a taste of that inner space that comes to the foreground through this meditative practice. So my thanks to Chiara Ravi for joining me today and for sharing about her experience with Shakti dance and how that has impacted her life. And we would love to also share this technology of Shakti dance and all its magical benefits with you. And if you are interested in joining us for the next upcoming teacher training in Poland, you're very welcome. And it's going to be taught by myself and a few of our other trainers in English, and there will be Polish translation. So if you're Polish speaking or English speaking, you're very welcome to join us, and you can find more information about this upcoming training that will be beginning at the end of November and continuing on until July of 25. And you can find more information in the link below. So thank you, Chiara Ravi.
Invite everybody to the training, because it's starting just in a few days on Thursday. It will be a beautiful journey of transformation. And from my heart, I invite you. If you feel the calling, just come to us.
Great. And I really look forward to being together with you physically, live, Piara Ravi, at this next upcoming training. And we will have a magical time. We have a few other teachers from the previous training who will be joining us, and we have a really great group of teacher trainers who have also been training with Shakti Dance for many years. And it will be a really life-changing and opening experience, and one that will help anybody who joins the training to really move forwards in their lives and to open up their creative capacity in all sorts of different aspects of what they're doing. So we look forward to seeing you there. Take care. Lots of love. Bye for now.
Thank you, Sarah, for the interview.